I just wanted to talk briefly about a subject of fairness um, and what goes on even politically in this country. Uh, what we've been taught is that you wait your turn in line. If you waited patiently and you lined up, then you don't get to jump the line to get ahead of those who have waited. We see this in everything. Well, if you want to immigrate to this country, well, you need to get in line and come through properly. Well, we have a problem. And it's always, why does it always come down to people of color who seem to be leapfrogged over when we begin to talk about securing rights and benefits and other things? The latest example of this is the United States House of Congress under Nancy Pelosi. She's out of San Francisco, has quickly passed a bill in the House overwhelmingly to codify what? Gay marriage and interracial marriage. Link those two together. To leapfrog over what we've been asking for from the very beginning in our community, voting rights. They should have been codified, but they're not. And so now the LGBT community leapfrogs over us, guided by Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer in the Senate, and says, hey, we've got 10 Republicans to codify LGBTQ marriage and interracial. You got to throw that in there to show that it's affecting us as well, right? So we got to throw that in there. But the real thing is LGBTQ. That's the big thing. That's the political clout that's behind this movement. Now, why would 10 Republican senators sign on to this to codify LGBTQ and interracial marriage? Well, you've got the minority leader of the Senate. He's in an interracial marriage. You have, but beyond that, in these Republican families, they're filled with LGBTQ people. And they can identify with that, their family members and those rights, not voting rights. They don't identify with voting rights because voting rights have to do with people of color. LGBTQ rights have to do with people who are of their own families. So they can support that. They can codify that. And that gives them no trouble from their family members and a very powerful political bloc, the LGBTQ community. They don't want to take that on. And so therefore, we're going to codify their rights. Leapfrogging over voting rights. Leapfrogging over fixing the criminal justice system, because that doesn't affect them to the degree that it affects people like me and other people of color in the Latino community. Leapfrogging. We're seeing parts of this with the Brittany Griner situation in Russia. The family of one detainee in Russia, and I'm sorry, I forgot the gentleman's name, complained of this leapfrogging. President Biden spoke personally with the wife of Brittany Griner. He took a letter from Brittany Griner, and they're talking about a swap. When the family of the gentleman who'd been there far longer, years, they said, no, this is not right. No, she should not be allowed to leapfrog over our loved one. But she's from a very powerful community, LGBTQ plus community. Therefore, leapfrog. And of course, I'm not blind that there are other circumstances too, that she's a professional athlete and so on and so forth. But that is not the reason as to why this community is moved and leapfrogging over us. And once again, here come the Democrats. They're going to be saying to us, you need to vote for Democrats because we stand for your rights. Really? I don't think so. And that's why, no, not Democrats, not Republicans, no. Because they believe in leapfrogging when it's in their interest. And what concerns us is only concerned with by us. We keep hearing the same refrain. We're working on it. We're going to get back to you on that. We're deeply concerned about that. We are so concerned about Buffalo. We're concerned about the gentleman being shot 40 times, but we're not so concerned that we're going to actually do something. Leapfrog politics. And again, where are the minority Congress people and congressmen in the Senate? Where are you? This can only happen if you go along with it. You should be speaking out against this leapfrog. But I think, hey, what is it that they're protecting? It's not us. It's not the constituents, but it's their political positions. They're all going to remain quiet once again. So just remember, leapfrog politics